Hello and welcome to the Retro Games. This is your host Gogloo. I was just roaming through the YouTube and I have seen a lot of retro YouTuber. They have their own top 10, top 15, top 24, top 21. So I thought and I asked myself, I should make my own top 19. Why number 19? Well, let me tell you a little story about that. So I used to work in Dubai and my ex-boss, he was a firm believer on the numbers. He's a big number guy, so he used to tell me, Gogloo, whenever you get something, either it's as simple as a phone or a house number, make sure number 9 comes in the end. I said, why is that? He said, because the 9 represent your head is up and then you are actually reaching for the stars kind of thing. I said, whatever that means. So without further ado, let's start this video. Gogloo! So on number 19 we have Eswat, City Under Siege. So this is not as good as the arcade version, but you know, like back in the days, I think it's released in 1991, and it has the similar story as the arcade one, when there's an organization called I, and they're just terrorizing the citizen. So I was just reading about this game, and I found out that Sega wants to get the license of RoboCop, but unfortunately Ocean already acquired the license for RoboCop, so they just made like a replica of RoboCop. It's not as good as arcade, like I said. The graphics are like it's okay, but it was fun to play, especially when you have your armor suit. Then we have in this particular one we have a jetpack, which is fun to use, and we have a different weapon. And so unlike arcade has 15 stages, but this one is only 8. But that was the first ever game when I bought Sega Genesis. Actually, it was Sega Mega Drive back in the day. So that was the first game that I got. So I have some sentimental value with that one. On number 18, we have Tailspin. It's a side-scrolling platform game based on an animated TV series. Now, I know this is not the best-looking Disney game, and if you ask me to rate all the Disney game, I think this would be on maybe in the last. It is slightly above than Ariel the Little Mermaid. But you know, like I said, I'm only picking those games that has sentimental value. So there was a time when I was extremely broke and I used to have only one cartridge, and that was Tailspin. So I used to play the hell out of it. I used to play in the morning, in the evening, in the afternoon, whenever I get time. I just pop this fucker in and I used to play this game. So we used to watch a Disney Hour on ZTV back in the days, and I remember Tailspin was one of the show, and I used to watch it like crazy. This is one of my favorite show. Number 17, we have Brian Lara Cricket. And if you belong to any South Asian countries, either it's India or Pakistan or Bangladesh or Sri Lanka, I know you are a fan of cricket. And then cricket as a game, it was like huge in Southeast Asia. So I remember the day this game released, there was a wholesaler in Lahore, and he used to send us the cartridges, you know, the EEPROM one, and they were extremely expensive. So you know, like we used to have cricket only on PC. This is the first time the game actually come into any console, and then after that we have a international cricket on Super Nintendo. But this game was way better than international cricket. So I still remember, you know, the first one where you play, and those fielders, they never drop any catch, but they make a little adjustment in the next sequel. And I also remember how, because it was not licensed, so they never had all the names correct. So I remember Shahid Afridi was Shahid Abridi or something. So yeah, it was funny, but this game had a lot of memory. I used to play like crazy. I used to play all the extra cover 6s. So with A button you can do the ground shot, and with B button you can do the long shots, you know, for the 6 if the timing is accurate. So that's my number 17. What do you think, guys? At number 16, we have Snow Brothers. Now, this is the classic arcade style game, was originally released in 1990. Now, the game featured two snowmen, Nick and Tom, who must battle through their ways at the various level by freezing and kicking the enemies into a snowball. Sounds so simple, but it's so addictive. The gameplay is amazing. The reason I choose this game, because we all played the arcade version and Nintendo version and even Game Boy version, but in Mega Drive version we had 70 level, we had 20 more. So this is the reason we choose this game, and boy oh boy, I used to play the hell out of it. And there's so much strategy involved around this game. So for example, if you hit all the enemies in one strike, you will get something special, like a 10,000 worth of prizes. In Pakistan we used to call it parchi. Hey, parchi. So yeah, so this game is and still after all these years I still play this game every now and then. At number 15, we have DAHNA Megami Tanju. Yep, that's the name of the game. It's never released in UK or US. It's only released in Japan, and boy oh boy, I remember first time Wasim Bhai, he was one of the store owner, and he showed me this game and I was mesmerized. It was different than any other game. So the year was 1991, and the platform games were so much into the business, and I just saw this game, and I think it's published by IGS, and where you play a girl named DAHNA. So what happened is her village is completely sacked and burned down by a evil witch sorcerer, and now she is on a verge of revenge. So and she get help along the way with beast like mighty Himalayan man, and like a phoenix bird and whatnot. It's a solid slash and hack and slash game, and if you haven't tried it out, I would highly recommend to do so. At number 14, we have Batman and Robin. It's an action platform game released in 1994 based on the animated series of the same name, featuring both Batman and Robin as they go and they fight against their arch nemesis like Joker, Two-Face, Harley Quinn, and the last boss of the game, Mr. Freeze. You can play as either Batman or Robin, and you can switch between the characters. Now, the graphics and the sound is quite impressive for the genre. Now, this is not your ordinary Batman game. Trust me, this game is on number 14 because I had a really hate and love relationship with that game, because I couldn't able to finish that game back in the days. But like last year, I played this game and I able to finish it, and I am amazed. How amazing this game. You should have tried that at least once. I highly recommend. At number 13, we have Chase HQ. Yeah, if you ask me about all the Chase HQs in the world, this would come at the last place, because the graphics are not very impressive as compared to the Super Nintendo one or the arcade one or the PC Engine one. But boy oh boy, if you grew up in Pakistan or in India, this game was spot on. This game was on every single arcade. Like whenever you go, you hear this sound. So this is a little different from the arcade one. So you have to choose. You have a choice of 3 different vehicles that you can choose from. One is a red sports car, a Ferrari, I guess, and then we have a Land Cruiser, and then we have a semi truck. So like I said, the graphics are not the best, but the gameplay was amazing. Again, it's a super addictive game, and for those who grew up in India and Pakistan and Bangladesh, and they have like a really nice memories attached to this one. At number 12, we have a game called Alisia Dragoon. Now this game developed by Game Arts, and I believe it's released in 1992. Boy oh boy, that game was amazing. So you are actually controlling a warrior princess named Alisia, and she is actually going and saving her kingdom from the evil dragons or creatures or mythical creatures or whatnot. And then she controls 4 different beasts, or dragon, if you may say that. And every dragon, they have their own weapon and an own specialization. And it's way before Pokemon came into the business. So she is like kind of had her own monsters in her pocket. So it was a great game, beautiful sprites, and the music was awesome. So if you haven't tried this out, I would highly recommend to just give it a shot. Well, it's not cheap these days, so see if you can find one in the wild. At number 11, we have a classic, Flicky. So it's a classic arcade-style game originally released in the early 1980s. The game features a small blue bird named Flicky who must collect all her chicks and bring them safely to the exit of each level while avoiding enemies, aka those cats. The gameplay is simple yet challenging, with players needing to navigate throughout each level, strategically use Flicky jumping ability to collect those chicks and avoid enemies. The game features 5 different worlds, each with its own unique set of enemies and challenges, and the difficulty ramps up as you progress through the time. The graphics are basic, but they are bright and colorful, simple yet animated characters and detailed backgrounds. The game soundtrack is really catchy. You know, while I was just thinking about this game, the soundtrack automatically play in my mind. Groovy! Yep, you got it right. At number 10, we have Earthworm Jim, produced by Shiny Entertainment. And boy, oh boy, this game was a wacky and hilarious. Stars a worm, an Earthworm Jim in a super suit, fighting off aliens and saving the world. With a unique gameplay mechanics and tons of personality, Earthworm Jim is one of the most memorable game on the console. I love the background, the hand-drawn animation by none other than Dave Perry, who did his work in Aladdin as well. Alright, at number 9, we have Tetris. Do I need to say anything about this game? No? Yeah, maybe. Alright, so there's a movie coming out on this game. How this game was built, how this game was made. It's pretty interesting story. Go check that movie out. So this is my number 9. So at number 8, we have Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse. Now this classic platform features Mickey Mouse on a quest to save his girlfriend Minnie from the evil witch Miserable, with a memorable boss battle, charming visual, and variety of power-up. This game was fantastic. I remember this was the 3rd game that I get my hands on. I believe it was 91 or something, 92. I don't remember the year vaguely. So and when I was like mesmerized by the sound and, you know, like the animation, the colorful graphics, the background, the foreground, it was a treat to watch. And then we got like a remake for that not very many years ago. So this game is true classic. So that is why it's on number 8. Lucky number 7. On number 7 we have Streets of Rage 2. In Japan, this game is known as Bare Knuckles 2. Now the classic beat 'em up sequel took everything that made the original one great and made it even better, with a variety of playable characters, intense action, and some of the best music on the console. Yuzo Koshiro came back with even better tunes than the first one. Streets of Rage 2 is a must-play for any beat-em-up lover. I grew up playing and thinking about Final Fight. This one satisfies all my needs and all my hunger for a great beat-em-up. So at number 6, we have Magical Truto-kun, which translates into Magical Wonderful World. This is another side-scrolling platformer. And boy, this game is so much colorful, beautiful graphics, and amazing soundtrack. And surprisingly, it's not very expensive these days, as you can find that on eBay for $30. But this is a must-have platform game if you like platform games. So the story of this game revolves around a 5th grader who lives in Tokyo, and he's kind of outcast and loser until he meets Magical Truto, and then whose power help this guy to deal with the hardship, including girls and bullies. It's a really cute game, and I really recommend if you are a fan of platform games. At number 5, we have Gunstar Heroes. When Konami failed to produce new IP and they keep rebooting their Contra again and again, few of the creative mindset in Konami, they decide to part ways with Konami and they form their new company called Treasure. And they produce Gunstar Heroes. It is a fast-paced, challenging game where you can play 2 of a Gunstar sibling, either red or blue, as you fight your way through the 7 stages filled with enemies and bosses. What set this game apart is the variety of weapons and power-ups that you can acquire, and you can combine those weapons to create new and more powerful attack, which adds a layer of strategy to the game. The graphics of this game is best on the Genesis. The game uses a mix of 2D and 3D and create a vibrant and colorful world. The character designs are memorable and the boss battle are especially impressive. The game has also a great soundtrack that complements the action on the screen. If you are a fan of run and gun games, this game is a must-have. At number 4, we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Hyperstone Heist. Now this made by Konami, developed by Konami, published by Konami, but it's slightly different from the one released in Super Nintendo called Turtles in Time. The story is slightly different. In this one, Shredder got Hyperstone and he wants to take over the world with his Hyperstone, and he demonstrates his power and he shrunk the Manhattan Island. Who's gonna rescue? Yep, you guessed it right. 4 Ninja Turtles we have to choose from. It's a simple side-scrolling, but what a game it is. Perfect animation, perfect gameplay, and it has a lot of replay value. If you are a Turtles fan, this game is going to be a treat for you. At number 3, we have my personal favorite, Disney's Aladdin. Now, based on a Disney animated classic, Aladdin is a fantastic platformer with tight controls, beautiful graphics, and what a crisp animation, I would say, and some of the best music on the console. If you are a fan of a movie, you owe it yourself when you play this game. There's like a really famous code. When you pause the game and press ABBA, you can skip. So you can play technically the whole game in 60 seconds if you want to check out. But boy, oh boy, this game has a really, really beautiful graphics, colorful, especially the rug ride. And some levels are fantastic, you know. I really like the Super Nintendo one as well, which is a little closer to the movie in terms of story. But this one is much more cartoonish look, exactly like the movie. So if you ask me which one is better, I would say in my sleep, Aladdin on Sega Genesis and Mega Drive. At number 2 spot, we have Sonic the Hedgehog 2. The reason is, and to be honest, I was really struggling between Sonic 2 and Sonic 3. But this is the original from the sequel, and it was a major step up from Sonic 1. They took everything that they made the first one great, and they have introduced Tails, epic bosses, amazing soundtrack. And even if you are a fan of Sajad Ali, it's like a really famous subcontinent musician. He tried to steal some tunes from the second level. Let's check this out. So in the end, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 hands down is the best Sonic for me. A lot of people think Sonic 3 is the best because it has some power-ups and then they introduce Knuckles in it. I'm not a big fan of Knuckles. I love Tails and I can take it any given day. For me, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was the ultimate, hands down, the best Sonic game ever. Before we hit number 1, let's discuss some honorable mention. Number 1, we have Shinobi 3, The Return of the Ninja Master. This game is like, I cannot say anything, you know, like you have to play this game. It's a fast-paced, challenging. It has like the ninja. Joe has a variety of ninja skills and weapons and shurikens and katana sword. He just going on a water hovering board. He just riding a horse. The foreground, the background, the music, everything is amazing. The graphics are so impressive. The game features have detailed background, colorful enemies, smooth animation, the sound effect, the music are top notch. It's the memorable soundtrack that perfectly fits the action pace of the game. So this was our top 19 Sega Mega Drive and Genesis game. Hope you like this video. If you like this video, please make sure you hit the like button, share the video with your friend, and subscribe the channel. And please put in the comment what kind of video you want to see. Till then, take care. Gogloo signing out.